Hello everyone and welcome to a tutorial for the Skip 40 Big Cats avatar. Everything you need to complete this tutorial is here in the document that you've gotten with the big cat, which also has a link to Unity 2019.4.21 or 29, the VRChat SDK. You want to download this one, SDK 3 avatars, and you'll want the dynamic bones. This allows you to have essentially jiggle bones, which means that your tail and your ears and such will flop around. So what we want to do now is we want to press on the little drop down new and make sure we select the correct version of Unity. Then we create a new 3D project. I already have a location set up and we can just call it tutorial. Click create. And then this will take a little time because Unity is a big game engine with a lot of moving parts. Alright, so now that we're in Unity, what we'll want to do is we'll want to import a custom package, and I've cleverly placed it right in this folder, but it'll probably be in your downloads or wherever you've placed it. You want the VRChat SDK 3 avatar setup. You'll want to just quickly import that right into Unity. It's the first thing you want to import. Okay, now that we have the VRChat SDK set up, what we'll want to do is go to the Assets Store, click on My Assets, and then press on the Import button, and then import the Dynamic Bones by Will Hong. So now that that's been imported, the final thing we want to do is import the Big Cat's Unity package. And then click import. Okay, so now that the big cats have been imported, what we want to do is click in, and then we want to go to prefabs. And then depending on the level of complexity, you might just want to start with, let's say the tiger. So let's drag the tiger in, and we don't want to drag him right into the scene. We want to drag him into the scene hierarchy here on the left. And then we can click F to focus on him. And here we go. Here's our wonderful tiger. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is, if you have the dynamic bones installed, you're going to want to open up the hierarchy for the tiger, click on armature, spine, and then you're going to want to do spine 01, spine 02, neck 01, and then head. This is the scene hierarchy that you want to have. You then want to add a component to the tiger prefab, and I've already searched up dynamic for the dynamic bone. So you click there, and here you get a whole bunch of stuff. But the most important thing to think about here is this, the root. So what we want to do is, because our tiger has the basic tail, we're just going to drag that over there. And then we're going to add another dynamic bone. This one, we're going to take the left ear, place that there, take the right ear, and the hair. There we are. So now we have the hair, the right and left ears, and the tail. All nice and dynamic. Now these properties can change how it reacts, but it takes a bit of fiddling if you want to get it looking absolutely perfect, so don't think about that too much right now. Now, the second thing we might want to think about is, let's say you want to change the shape of your tiger. Well, you click in on specifically the body in the hierarchy here. And then under Skin to Mesh Renderer, there's a little tab here called Blend Shapes. If you open that up, you'll see there's a bunch of things changing how the tiger moves. But the important thing is under Customization here. So there's a body slider to increase the width. There's a chest slider if you want a bigger chest. There is a hip slider for wider hips. You can change the teeth. You can make the teeth smaller. You can make the ears torn. Give a smaller muzzle and a slightly bigger chin. And even the eyelashes. So that's the blend shapes. That's probably the easiest way to customize your tiger further beyond retexturing. So if you want to change the texture of your tiger, you want to still be on the body mesh, you want to click on this tiny circle. This will open up the texture window. And you can see there's a bunch of different textures, all sorts of stuff. But if you have a custom texture, it'll be somewhere in here. Let's say we want the bobcat texture. Boom. Now we suddenly have a bobcat. And we can stick with the tiger tail. Now, this is pretty much it. Maybe, though, you want them to be a little smaller. Well, then you need one more part. So let's say you want them to be half the size, right? So you change the scale to 0.5. They're quite small. But you see that there's this little ball here. The ball is the view position. You can see if I click edit, it can change it. Now the easiest way to keep the view position constant is, say this is half. So we have to look at this. We say, okay, what's half of 1.6? Well, that's 0.8. And what's half of 0.1? Well, that's 0.05. And this way, you can see, if you look inside, that the viewport is actually still where it should be, which is very important because otherwise the viewport's going to be over there and it's not going to work very well. So let's say we want to upload this. Well, what we would do is we go to the VRChat SDK tab here and we press Show Control Panel. It'll ask you to log in at first. I'm logged in, so it's not much of an issue. And then maybe it says, hey, you have like a quadrillion skinned mesh renderers. Oh, wait. So how do I fix that? Well, those are referring not only just to the body and the tail. There will always be two so long as you have both of those. But they're referring to these, the little extras you get with. And you might be thinking, okay, but let's say this is the look I like. I like the collar, the frames. Hell, I'll bring the glasses in. But I don't care for the hoops, the scarf, or the studs. Well, all you have to do is click here on the skinned mesh renderer for the studs and press remove component. So it will no longer display in the game. And then you just do that for each part you don't want. And then you have to make sure to untag these. You should really only tag these on and off if you want to look at what it looks like, because otherwise you won't be able to toggle them in-game using the expression menu. Maybe you don't want to toggle them. That's completely fine. Okay, so now that we've taken it down a notch, let's open up the SDK again. And you can press this if you just want to run around in VRChat testing the model to see if it works. Alternatively, you can press build and publish for Windows. Now, it's going to have a blueprint ID once you've logged into the SDK under this pipeline manager on the prefab. You want to detach that. The blueprint ID stops you from being able to upload it because then you would be tampering with someone else's upload of the avatar. So you want to detach it, and then you can run build and publish for Windows. That way it'll create its own unique blueprint ID for this specific version of the model. Okay, so now we have this window, and you might be thinking, what the heck is this? What is this image? Well, fret not. If you click on scene here, the camera can be cleverly repositioned to give you a much better angle of your character. So if we click back to game, all we have to do is give it a name, tutorial. You can use a description such as from the skip 4D big cat pack. And then don't need any content warnings. You need to keep sharing to private. And then you have to accept this and then press upload. What this will do is it will upload it to VR chat, which means that you will be able to go into the game and play as this model. Okay, it'll give you a dialog box saying that it successfully uploaded. So now if you just go and let's see here, it's just messing up for me. Okay, I'm just going to do that then. There we go. It should show up in your avatar menu. So if you just change into it, you can see the camera wasn't quite positioned correctly, but that's okay. And we can see that our little friend is moving around with floppy ears and hair. And this is where it could be beneficial to, for instance, change some of the settings to make it less floppy. So if we look at, let's say, my regular avatar, I've changed it so that the hair is less floppy, but then the ears are still quite floppy. Anyways, I hope this tutorial helped you. Hopefully it did. And yeah, that's it really. Okay, goodbye.